you should sit here. Where but how?
Yes, I'll be there.
Angalia.
Yeah, you will see on the screen. Yes. Hello. Epuka. Because watu washaanza kuingia, like should you give how many minutes? Tuanze. For 9. For 4. So like tuanze ama we will start in 5 minutes. Yes. So mimi can consult. So mimi naangalia tu kamera. I assume uko wanani.
Hello, everyone. Appreciation to every one of you for your presence today. This has been a long journey developing our strategic plan, and we're so happy that we've reached this far. We acknowledge your presence as our donors, our partners, and our stakeholders for joining us today. A huge thank you to Malia Sealy, Blue Ventures, NORAD, and all stakeholders who are present here today with us. And in this room I have with me Comred directors and staff. They are all looking happy, and we are looking forward to a successful event. Before we begin this event, I'd like to take you through the program. This is a 1-hour event, and within this 1 hour, we will have introductory remarks from one of Comred's directors, Dr. Patrick Kimani, seated next to me. And then we will watch a very short film about Comred, where you will get to understand our work better. And to make things more interesting, we will have a fireside chat with the directors here with me, and we hope that you will enjoy it. And we will also take you through the strategic plan document so that you can appreciate it and the effort that was put into it. We will give an explanation of the theory of change, Comred's theory of change, so that you can understand our goals, mission, and vision as an organization. At the end of the event, we will have a question and answer session. So please feel free to type in your questions in the chat, and we will try as much as we can to answer them. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like us to begin the program by welcoming Dr. Patrick Kimani to give his introductory remarks. Welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone watching us from wherever you are. Welcome to this where we present our strategic plan. Just to tell you about Comred. Comred is a coastal and marine conservation organization working in Kenya. We were established in the year 2006, and since then we have been working around Kenya and in the Western Indian Ocean region. Our vision is to see sustainable coastal and marine environments supporting thriving communities and cities. Therefore, our mission is to build resilience of the coastal and marine environments, and to see that these particular environments benefit the inhabitants in the coastal cities and the coastal regions of the Western Indian Ocean region and Kenya. We are here to launch our strategic plan, and the journey for our strategic plan took some time before we could eventually come up with a document that we have today. Initially, we depended on projects and donor-driven initiatives that were really driving how we work and how we operate. And we reached a point where we realized, I think we now want to chart our way forward in a way that we determine where we want to go. And therefore, we call upon partners to join us in this journey as we shape our conservation journey together. In the development of the strategic plan, we began first by the directors. Initially, we did a draft amongst ourselves, and we were not satisfied with the draft because it was not a participatory process. So after we had finished, we realized that our staff had not been involved, and therefore we needed to bring them on board so that they can own the process. And this is where we approached Maliasili and Blue Ventures for their assistance to help us with technical support and financial support to develop the current strategic plan. And they agreed, and we are very grateful to them for their support in this. And when the journey began, we started with interviewing various stakeholders, looking at where we have had successes, where we have had failures, looking at our strengths, our weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and looking at where we would be able to fit in very well within the strengths that we have. And this is how we came up with a draft that was also a highly interactive process with our staff, and we had several retreats and workshops to be able to develop the current drafts. So the current draft that we have is a concerted effort between our stakeholders, our partners, our staff, and it looks back from our history, from our past failures, our successes and strengths, and this has been used to chart the way forward. We look forward to elaborating more on our strategic plan with you and seeing how we can implement it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kimani. And I can agree with Kimani that this process of developing the strategic plan was very participatory, and each of us as staff was very much involved in the process, and this gave us ownership of the document, and more than that, we got to interact and to know each other better. So a huge thank you to Blue Ventures and Maliasili, who are very, very amazing throughout the whole process. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this very short film about Comred. Thank you. Just a few seconds, the video will play. In the meantime, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. This is Comred Strategic Plan Virtual Launch Event. We're just a few minutes in.
vizuri.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed that short film. If you want to learn more about us, you can check our website and also our social media pages. And now I'd like us to move to the next session where I will have a chat with Comred directors here with me. And first I would like them to introduce themselves. So we will start with Dr. Kimani Karibu.
Thank you, Jen. My name is Patrick Kimani. As a co-director, I am in charge of fisheries governance, livelihoods, and access to finance, and also development of value chains within Comred. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Amkota. I'm one of the directors at Comred. My areas of interest are human aspects of coastal and marine resource use and conservation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nyaga Kanyange. I'm also the co-director at Comred. I'm also a marine ecologist, a conservationist. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Innocent Ngawa Nyonyi. I'm one of the co-founding directors of Comred. I'm currently involved in coastal cities and port development.
Thank you for introducing yourselves. We have a very rich expertise here with us, and we are thankful for that. So as we begin this chat, I'd like us to go all the way at the beginning. So this is for you, Dr. Kimani. What events led to establishing Comred, and what has the journey been over the years?
Okay, thank you for that question. As I said earlier, Comred started in 2006. We were young then. We were young and passionate, ready to change the world. And we were young at our careers. Previously, the first three founding directors, we worked together in a conservation organization before we established Comred. And our passion for establishing Comred was hinged on the previous concern about coastal communities not benefiting from the resources that is around them. We know that they are surrounded by very rich biodiversity and opportunities, but they were not benefiting fully from them. And therefore, we sought to establish an organization that can be able to build their capacity in order to be able to harness the opportunities in these coastal and marine resources. At the beginning, we toyed around with many names: PASSES Africa, PASS Kenya, PASS Africa, and and many other names. And I think it's the same for many similar small organizations when they're growing up. And when we went to register those names, we found, oh, they were already taken. And that's when the idea came of establishing what is now known as Coastal and Marine Resource Development. And the reason behind it was to see how can we develop the capacity of the coastal communities in order to be able to benefit from these resources. And that's how Comred came about. And 16 years later, look, here we are. We started with 2 staff, and now we're quite a grown organization, I would say.
Thank you. If you ask me, I'd say Comred is a pretty cool name, right? And I'm happy that you settled with that. And it's really good hearing about where Comred has come from. And just to mention that I joined Comred as an intern years ago. And right now, as I said, I'm a program manager. So they are doing a really great job helping even young professionals to grow in their careers. So a huge thank you to you for the work that you put in growing the organization. And as you said, Kimani, there are so many conservation organizations around, and we just want to understand what makes Comred different from other marine organizations.
What makes Comred different is, one, we are a Kenyan-led, Kenyan-founded organization working with grassroots communities. Secondly, we have what I may call the heartbeat of the community. We listen to coastal communities, listen to their problems, co-create solutions with them, and we are there for them. We genuinely want to improve their lives and also to improve the conditions of the environments which they inhabit. We also an organization that focuses on intergenerational change, looking at developing a pool of experts, and also mentoring young people as they come up to take spaces that we are basically fitting into our shoes as we transition. So we are creating a pool of young, like-minded experts that can be able to fit into our shoes and take the conservation goals to the next level. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And Andrew, maybe you can help us understand what problems is Comred addressing?
Thank you for that question. Coastal communities world over, but more specifically Kenyan coastal communities, are faced with a myriad of challenges that impact not only the environment, but also their livelihoods. Examples of these challenges arise from degradation of the environment, poverty, as well as climate change. Now, as we know, in many of these communities, they lack not only the authority, but the power to sustainably manage the environment. This lends itself to problems associated with overexploitation, as well as competition over resources, and therefore poverty. As you know, poverty has a cyclic relationship with the resources, what is otherwise lending itself into what is known as the Malthusian poverty trap. So Comred is addressing those problems, but with full knowledge that we cannot be able to solve all problems at once. Thank you.
Thank you. And those are so many problems that you've mentioned. So maybe, Innocent, you can help us understand what is Comred's contribution towards making a lasting change in the coastal and marine conservation field?
Thank you. You're right. There are many problems, and sometimes you get overwhelmed. And Patrick gave us the concerns that brought us together. And Andrew has elaborated these problems that we articulated very well in our policy, in our strategy. We have, in our own way, contributed quite a bit in the space. In the first place, we look at artisanal fisheries, specifically co-management. We have, up to now, ongoing fisheries catch data collection at 9 beach management units in Kwale County. We also have trained a total of 16 beach management units in monitored control and surveillance. We have also a presence in 60% of the beach management units in Kwale County, 15 out of 22. That's quite big. And in those BMUs, we have done a lot of training of the executive committee, training in governance, resource management, as well as trained community members in specific areas like climate change, livelihoods, and value addition. In total, 60 community members. We have also done some contribution in sustainable livelihoods and financing, and we have up to now been able to establish 12 eco-credit schemes, which come complete with seed funding. And these schemes are very much linked to conservation efforts by the community. So that is quite a contribution we have done. In terms of conservation, that we have had a strategy, we have also been able to support establishment of one octopus closure in Munje in Kwale. We have also been able to set up one participatory forest management in Buddha Forest in Kwale. In conservation itself, we have planted 10 acres of mangrove, rehabilitated and planted 10 acres of mangrove in Kwale. We have also been able to plant 10,000 mangrove seedlings, which have successfully matured in Mombasa County. If we go to look at the city space, Comred has been able to establish 3 to undertake 3 peer-to-peer exchange activities for coastal practitioners in the cities of Mombasa, Moroni, and Durban. Comred has also supported activities that led to the establishment of a solid waste management digital platform together with its web portal for the county government of Mombasa. As well as in the city, we are able to show that we have been able to establish a smart city forum, the Mombasa Smart City Forum, which is a multi-stakeholder engagement activity. Now that moves me to the next stage of our impact, which is stakeholder engagement. All our programs intentionally involve stakeholders, and in fisheries at the moment, through our contact with the communities, we have been able to reach 1,000 stakeholders and have direct impact on them in the fisheries sector, and over 500 stakeholders in the city space through dialogues on thematic issues ranging from climate change to the problems that they are addressing. That's quite a big number. In stakeholder engagement as well, we have set up as a multi-stakeholder forum in Shimoni Vanga in Kwale. This is reaching an area, affecting an area of over 80,000 hectares. If we move then to capacity development, Jen started by giving her own example, but in the last 3 years alone, Comred has been able to produce 4 master students, which these are cases who have already graduated, and 3 PhD students who have graduated through our projects. We are very proud. We have a new set of PADI certified divers. 4 of them are our staff, and these are going to be very useful in the work that we are doing. We are also proud that in the last years, we have been able to train 5 of our staff to be able to do ecological monitoring and underwater assessments. I will not forget our contribution in policy. We have been able to support the one policy, not support, actually develop and ensure that it has been passed and implemented, the Mombasa climate change policy. We have also supported the current program to establish a climate action plan in Mombasa City, which is based on the same policy. We have in many ways supported other policy-related processes at national level in the climate change policy and at county level in Kwale and Kilifi. That's just to mention a few. If we have more time, I would elaborate more. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We've done so much, as you've heard, but we've not done it by ourselves. We have our donors who have really backed us up, and we also have our partners and stakeholders with whom we would not be able to do that much without their support. So we appreciate each and every one of you. And Nyaga, Patrick mentioned that Comred is a Kenyan-founded and led organization. What are some of the challenges that Comred has faced over the years?
Thank you for the question. Actually, when I'm talking about Kenyan-founded or local-founded, I'm also speaking to other organizations because you're operating in the same space. I attribute this to like being Kenyan-founded organization. I'll give this example of someone swimming across the current in a very big river, and then you're trying to find your way to swim along with the current. So that's how it feels like. There are lots and lots of challenges. I can talk about them the whole day, but I'll just talk about the most pressing. One of them is fundraising. So when you get into this work, most of us think that it's only the money that will take you to the next level. So you start looking for the money or for the funds. That has not been easy in terms of accessing the right amount of funding to support the interventions that you really want to. So in most of the cases, you end up responding to a call for proposal, not because that you really want to do it, but because that's where the money is. But we moved away from that because now we have a strategic plan and we know where we're going. That notwithstanding, the kind of funding we are getting right now is restricted. It's quite restricted. So it means that we don't get funding to do other important aspects of the organization that contribute to the same output that we do. For instance, human resource is not funded, so we are doing it on our own. Okay, so, but we are trying. So we can get the money to do what we want. We are very grateful. We've gotten some funding. But then when you got the funding, you realize that you still need a very well orchestrated or pioneered skill sets of people. I don't just mean education, but do you have fit for purpose skills that can solve the kind of initiative, the kind of problems that you want to. We are still doing that. It's a journey. We've got a credible team right now, but still it's a journey. Other than that, leadership is a problem. Initially, it was a problem. So what we did, we entered into a leadership, conservation leadership program. Two of us did that. And we are still doing that so that we can get more and more staff into conservation leadership and take the organization to the next level. Lastly, and not the least, trust. Okay. Everybody knows what we mean by trust. When a stranger comes here and they talk, you'd wonder what they are, who are they? So when you're starting and people don't know you, you still believe you can do so, but people don't trust you. So I'm talking about stakeholders who you work with. I'm talking even the donors. So when you're starting, sometimes as a Kenyan founded, because you're local and you're just starting. So most people did know who we are, what we can do, and why we are there in the first place. But through delivery of outputs, we've managed to earn credibility because I think trust is earned. So we earn that through delivering credible results to the partners that you're working with right now. So I won't say it's a big problem for now, but initially it was a challenge. So I think I'll end there. That list is not exhaustive, but thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We've been able to do much, even amidst those challenges. So I think we are still getting there. We say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, so one step at a time. And Innocent, we've talked about the history of Comred, the achievement and the problems that Comred is addressing. How does Comred's future look like to you?
Comred's future, thank you, Jen. Comred's future is basically what we developed with our staff and partners. It's the future we are seeing in our current marine strategy that we are launching today. We are seeing a marine and coastal environment that is sustainable and able to provide for the communities that are dependent on it. We believe that with the approach that we are taking from now on, we are able to eliminate degradation, marine and coastal resource degradation. We are able to eliminate poverty, and we mentioned poverty. That's the future we are seeing. We are also able to eliminate the impacts of climate change in the space we are working. We are seeing a future that Comred, with this strategy, has a space to contribute to the global agenda. Talking about blue economy, we have the capacity, Nyaga said that. We have the capacity in spatial planning and capacity in nature-based solutions for the things we are dealing with. We have immense capacity in fisheries co-management. So we are seeing a very bright future from where I'm seated right now. And to do this, basically, we are seeing, with the approach that we are taking, a lot of collaborations and partnerships and linkages with other like-minded organizations to get to that future. Thank you.
I am so happy to hear that you see a bright future, and I know my fellow colleagues also are happy to hear that, because you're looking up to you, and when you see a bright future, we have hope also that we can contribute into that future. And so to end this conversation, I'd like each one of you in one breath to tell us, what are you most proud of about Comred?
I'm proud of Comred because we are innovative, resilient, and we are there out to make a difference. We are not there to tick boxes. Thank you.
Focused. That's what I can say.
Community-centered.
Yes, they're giving one word. I'm proud of Comred because of, I'll give 2 words, reliability. We are there for what we tell you we are going to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think I will end it with saying mine also so that I can contribute to that. Mine is growth. Thank you very much for making this interesting. I hope that you, our audience, you've enjoyed this chat. And now we are moving on to the next session where we're going to take you through our strategic plan document. We will share this document with you once you're done with the event, so don't worry. When you open the strategic document, you will see that this plan is for 5 years, from 2023 this year to 2027. You will find a letter from the directors where they thank you as our donors and partners and stakeholders for believing in our vision and standing with us through the years. You will also find the introduction section where we explain more about Comred. Our directors here have mentioned a little bit about Comred, but there's much more that you can learn from the strategic plan document. We have our values under the strategic framework where we are guided by 5 core values. We will take you through them. You'll also find our mission and vision as an organization. As we mentioned, this document is important because it gives us a strategic direction about where we want to go. We have a theory of change in the document where you can understand the different interventions that we want to do as an organization to achieve our vision. And of course, implementation of this strategic document will need resources. So you will find a section about implementation and resourcing, where we know that we need an effective team. We're already working on that to help us implement this document. And in addition to that, we will need to strengthen our communication and knowledge management so that you are able to understand what you are doing more, and also so that we can attract more funding. And that is how the document looks like. I've taken you through it briefly so that we don't waste a lot of time. But as I mentioned, we will share the document with you so that you can have time to interact with it better. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Kimani to take us through our theory of change so that you can understand where we want to go as an organization. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Basically, our theory of change revolves around 3 goals. And the first goal is to see that there is governance and management of coastal and marine resources. And these goals helps us to be able to build the capacity of communities to manage their resources, as well as the cities that we work with. And then goal number 2 is to enhance livelihoods and access to finance, so that the communities that depend on the marine resources can be able to benefit from the marine resources, and also as an incentive. On goal number 3, this is on conservation of the coastal and marine resources, and this is where we are working towards restoration of degraded habitats, protecting the ones that are still intact, and even providing measures of data collection and being able to use that data for management. And once we have these goals in place, once we start implementing them, we expect that the outcomes will be an empowered coastal communities who have livelihoods. The livelihoods are enhanced, and once their livelihoods are enhanced, they'll be able to appreciate the coastal and marine environments that they inhabit. And with this, they will be able to participate better alongside building their capacity for management. They'll be able to participate in management and governance of these marine resources. And once they have the control, they are governing the resources, we expect that there'll be resilience in the coastal and marine resources, but also amongst the communities themselves. And all these play along to help us achieve our vision, which is to see sustainable environments, coastal and marine environments, and the communities that depend on them. And with this, we'll also be able to achieve our vision, which is to have sustainable coastal and marine resources that are intact and that can be able to support the communities into the future. So this is what we have in our strategic plan, and we foresee us contributing to various sustainable development goals. For example, goal number 14 on life underwater, looking at goal number 1, which is on ending poverty, goal number 13 on climate action, goal number 17 on developing partnerships that can be able to help us to work together with like-minded partners and communities in resolving some of the most pressing problems facing biodiversity, and also goal number 11 on sustainable coastal cities. Our strategic plan will also help us achieve various global biodiversity framework goals and targets. For example, on addressing biodiversity loss, and also helping to see that communities benefits from this biodiversity, and therefore we will be able to be contributing to these global goals. Thank you.
Thank you.
But maybe just to, before we pen off, I would like to say that our strategic plan is, as Jane introduced and said, it's a 5-year plan. We anticipate that the cost of implementing this plan is about $4 to $5 million. We have already been able to secure about $1.5 million in the next 2 years. So we have a gap in terms of the funding gap for some of the goals that needs to be implemented, but also we need a lot of technical support from our partners in terms of building our staff capacity to be able to meet the needs of implementing this strategic plan. And we call upon you as our partners to partner with us together as we share our dream, as we walk this journey together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kimani, for taking us through that theory of change. I see we're running short of time and we're still yet to do questions. So do we have any questions? Does anybody have any question? We can give 2 minutes. Any question? Thank you so much for your comments, Maina. I see some comments coming in the chat. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us anytime. You can interact with our website and our social media. And now I think we should just wrap this up. I'd like to welcome Innocent to give us the closing remarks.
Thank you, Jen. And this has been a very short session. We would have liked to power on a little bit more to explain to you how we are translating our research in coastal and marine environments into actions and development and conservation of the same. However, we are still able to interact in our platforms, as we have said. And I would want, first of all, to thank Malia Sili, who helped us to develop this strategy, without whom we would have not ended up with the kind of product that we have. Secondly, I want to thank everyone. I'm not able to look at who has logged in online right now, but all the individuals who are following us online and the respective institutions that they represent, we would really like to thank you very much for making the time to join us today. We do not take that for granted. It actually means that you are willing to partner with us in future. And I would also want to thank the support of the people who have stood with Comred from 2006. That's quite a long time to be engaged as a partner, as a donor, or just as a collaborator. I would pick up key partners that have supported Comred in terms of funding. Blue Ventures has supported a lot. Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association have been with us quite a lot. We have WWF Kenya has supported us in climate change issues. UNDP has supported us. And currently, most of the work we are undertaking is being supported by NORAD in collaboration with Blue Ventures. So that's quite a lot of funding. We do have some funding that has come from different sections. We still did receive some funding from Sweden. We received fundings for other smaller projects in the previous years. And this is what has enabled us to do the things we had to do before the strategic plan, and now to do them more properly with the strategic plan. I also would want to mention that it's not possible. You can see we are seated here, 4 of us, and any fig tree started from a seed, a single seed. So these people are mentored by different organizations, different individuals. We would want to really thank them. All of them I cannot mention because we are many of us, but I would want to single out David Abura of Cordio for supporting our intentions, Dr. Julius Francis of Western Indian Ocean Marine Science Association for being very supportive, and also Professor Olof Linden. They grew this team before they set up Comred. So then we met other nice friends who are supporting us right now. So we really thank you. We cannot mention all the names. It is without say that this strategic plan is being developed by us, the staff who are sitting here with us. So we really thank them for pushing this, burning the midnight oil, and also making their hands dirty to make sure that we are here where we are right now. everyone else, we really appreciate your efforts and partnerships, and we look forward to working with you in the foreseeable future for the marine and coastal environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we are coming to the end of this event. We want to say thank you so much to our audience for joining us today. We hope that you've enjoyed this and that you've learned a thing or two about Comred. Just to remind you that we will be sharing the strategic plan document with you in your emails. Thank you again so much for joining us, and goodbye.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How was that? It's never easy. Sometimes you lose the words, but I believe we did what we could. I think we had a false start at the beginning, but we did what we could. So here we are. Thank you very much for participating. Caroline, Agatha, Clay, Joanne, who is new, yes. Thank you very much for gracing us, gracing this occasion. We are really thankful for you being our partners, and even coming to us at the time we are launching our strategic plan. We have tea. They had told me that we will overstay, so I don't know that it's still there. I hope it is still there, so we can have tea as we interact more. Then in the from 7, I think maybe where is Kate and Eunice? Take over from here.
Okay, I suggest we have already introduced ourselves. I see we have Caroline and Al here. So if they are very good with names, they will remember you. You have all blue t-shirts. If you can just introduce yourselves by name. Clay and John and Agatha, we know you. Starting here, very quickly, where you are.
Pamela Diambo, Project Manager at Comred. Thank you.
Hello, Clifford Ochiel, Fisheries Officer, Fishery Management and Governance.
Hello, Police Safari Comred.
Hi, I'm Wanam Kusleiman, I'm Research Assistant.